the Prophecy Club. We're going to continue with me explaining how I got involved with the vision to find oil in Israel in progress. I don't have to do this. I was doing pretty good before I got in this. Maybe I need to go back to that. But see, God told me what I'm supposed to do, and that is to spread the warning given to Dimitri Duduman, to spread the fact that you are in the last days. You are a part of the last generation. You are living in the mystery Babylon. America is going to fall. I'm supposed to spread that message. All right, now let me summarize where we are. First, I said, I love you more than I love my wife, my children, and my life. And he says, I'm going to give you part of the harvest from the seeds sown by Billy Graham. Then, a few months later, he tells me I'm Dimitri Duduman. So then I began saying, Lord, okay, fine. You tell me you're going to give me all these souls. How are you going to give me the money to win all the souls? Because it costs money, I'm remembering all of these meetings where I walk out with my pocket hanging out and a big stack of bills in my hands, So how are you going to give me the money to win all these souls? That's what I began praying. It was May 6th. That's an important date. Remember that. May 6th, 2003. Just before I went to sleep, I asked the Lord once again, how are you going to give me the money to win thousands upon thousands of souls like you promised? So, in my dream, I was standing on a 55-gallon oil drum, as in a crude oil drum. I was teaching Bible prophecy to a group of about 125 people. On top of the oil drum was another smaller 2.5-gallon drum with a spigot on it. It was awkward to preach and avoid this small drum and spigot. I stopped preaching for a moment, and I asked the group, and I said, is there anyone that can help me to cut a hole in this and get this spigot attached to this 55-gallon drum so I can get the oil out so I can go ahead and preach without distractions? 2 people said they could help. You see, once again, I had my answer. Let me summarize. Okay, supposed to give you part of the harvest of the seeds sown by Billy Graham. Billy Graham won millions of people to the Lord. He's supposed to be giving me part of that. That's a lot of souls. He tells me the message is supposed to be Dimitri Duduman, the gospel, the last days, Bible prophecies coming to pass. Now he has me standing on an oil drum. He's telling me, this is the message I want you to get out, and I'm going to finance it with crude oil. Now, that's what I'm getting out of this. Okay, that was May 6th, 2003. I was very excited about this dream, and I could not wait to tell my good friend Hayseed when he came back. And so I called his wife. He said, well, he's in Israel. He'll be back here in a couple of days, and I'll let you be one of the first ones to speak to him as soon as he gets back. And so I was supposed to talk to him the very next day. But on May 15th, Hayseed fell down dead from a heart attack. I could not believe my dream to win thousands upon thousands to Christ had just died. Because, you see, in my mind, his oil well, which he called a soul well, was supposed to be the thing that would finance the winning of the thousands upon thousands to Christ. So now I'm thinking, oh man, it's all dead, it's all gone. Now, how are we going to get the money to win souls now? Well, not to worry. On May 20th, 5 days after he had died, I attended Hayseed Stevens' funeral. A little church on the outskirts of a little city called Willow Park, Texas, about 45 minutes west of Fort Worth, and it was packed with some of the greatest names in Christ's kingdom. I felt like a little lost 16-year-old boy, once again sitting at my dad's funeral, feeling like I was all alone in the world, lost my dad, only now I had lost my vision. How was I going to win all of those souls? Now I didn't have anybody that was going to be able to give me the oil money to win those souls. But not to worry. You see, God still had a plan, and it's a better plan, and he was about to show it to me. So this is the evening we buried Hayseed. We buried him in the afternoon. That night, I had this dream. I dreamed that I was in a tan-colored SUV and I was driving around in a desert area looking for another place to drill another oil well. In my lap, there was a huge stake about 4 inches thick by about 12 inches across. I had a fork in my left hand, a knife in my right hand. Every few minutes I reached down and I cut me off a piece of that really nice juicy steak and throw it into my mouth. I was in the driver's seat. Sitting over in the passenger seat is the son of my good friend Hayseed. In the back seat is one of the intercessors from our church. She had her hands, left hand and right hand, on our backs as we were driving around looking for another place to drill another oil well, and she was praying intently for us. I think the steak has to do with finances. The lady in the back seat represents all of those people that fast and pray for the Vision of the Prophecy Club and Prophetic Oil every Wednesday. And if you'd like to find out more about it, call the Prophecy Club and join our Fast Track team. Every Tuesday, I send you out a personal email from me to you asking you to pray and telling you what I'd like for you to pray for. And I never ask for donations. I never do any soliciting to our prayer team. This is only people that want to fast and pray, and that's all I ask them to do is just fast and pray. He's given me part of the harvest that he's given to Billy Graham. He's told me I'm to get the warning of Dimitri Duduman and the end-time soul-winning gospel out. He's told me that oil is going to finance it. His son took over, but things didn't go as they had hoped. It was June 11th, 2004. And I prayed and I said, Lord, how's the Vision to Find Oil going? That night, he gave me a dream. I arrived at a horse arena. I could see the dirt in the middle. There were stacks of human food being sold. It was bulk human food used to feed starving people. There was a man talking on a microphone selling the feed to those in the stands. I walked down the row behind where Hayseed was sitting, squatted down behind him, hugged him, and said, I love you and I miss you. He was so happy to see me. He said, hello, big boy, how you doing? I said, good, good. What's going on? He said, well, my charity is in trouble. It lost about $100,000 last month, and I came down here to help it, and it needs your help too. Then, without warning, he got up out of his chair and said, I gotta go. He bent down and said, I love you. Then, August 18th of 2006, this is just a few months later, one of our biggest supporters was actually in training to become a prophet. He was under Leslie, and Leslie was working with him. Well, one morning he came in and he said, I had a dream last night. You see, what was the dream? He said, well, I dreamed a pilot went into the bathroom and accidentally locked himself out of the cockpit and had to actually break into the cockpit in order to be able to land the plane. Well, we all had a good chuckle over that. The next morning, it wasn't such a chuckle, because coming on CNN, I heard it on the TV in the other room, and it said, oh, we have a rather amusing note today. A pilot went into the bathroom, accidentally locking himself out of the cockpit, and had to break back into the cockpit in order to land the plane. Almost exactly the words from the dream that he told us the day before. We were all shocked at the accuracy of his dream, that was God saying, okay, Stan, I'm talking to this guy, and I want to say something to you, and I want you to know that it's accurate, that you can count on it. It's from me. So then the next day, having had the very accurate dream of the pilot locking himself out of the cockpit, he comes in, he said, I had another dream last night. And of course, this time we stop what we're doing and we turn and we listen. He said, I dreamed that the Prophecy Club was like a tree that was dying. The tree was still alive, he said, but all of the leaves were dry and turned brown and yellow, and they had all curled up. All of the branches were dry and brittle. He said it was still there. It still had the leaves, but it was so dry, it looked like it was dead. And he said, I was trying to stretch a hose of water up to it, but there was always a problem. The hose was either too short, there was a knot in the hose. Finally, I got the hose to reach the tree. I turned on the water, but it just drizzled out. just a pitiful slow rate. I finally just gave up, threw the hose down, and walked off. Once I was a long way off, I heard a noise, turned around, and the sky opened up and just flooded the tree with water. It was like a waterfall. He said, I believe the tree represents the Prophecy Club. The water represents the finances that I've been able to bring to the Prophecy Club. And the cloudburst is that God is going to be supplying millions of dollars to your ministry. And I said, well, brother, I said, there's something more. If that dream's from God, let me tell you what the rest of it is interpreting. The rest of it is also a warning to you that you're about to walk away from this ministry, and you'll leave the ministry, and then when you're a long way off, that is when the water hits the ministry, and that's when you will hear about it, but you will be away from the ministry. I said, it's a word of caution. I'd like to tell you that never came to pass, but that was August of 2006. In February of 2007, that fellow walked away from our ministry, just exactly as the dream had said. I believe that that is all going to come to pass. In 2007, Hayseed's son called and asked if I wanted to become the president and CEO of Hayseed's old company. And at the time, I didn't even take the offer real serious. I didn't understand that maybe that was an opportunity, a door that God was opening up, as the dream did say that I should help Hayseed's charity, and that if you put two and two together, that may be what it was saying. Now let's jump ahead. October 18th, 2007, just a few short months later, our finances had reached a new low. And by the way, every time it seems to reach a new low that I don't think it can go below, it seems like we discovered that there is another new low below that other low that we didn't think we could go below. Leslie was asking God that night before she went to bed, unbeknownst to me, should I tell Stan that it's time to close the Prophecy Club and to just go get a job? And God answered her question. Now, I'm shortening this dream. Basically, she saw a shoebox on the floor. She picked it up, and a red marker began writing words on the shoebox top. And an audible voice began to speak the words as they were being written. The voice of the Lord was so loud, she said, it woke me up. I jumped out of bed. I was standing beside the bed, yet the marker continued to write the words, and she continued to hear the audible voice of God speak. We'll be right back after this message. If you would like to find out more about our vision to find oil in Israel, call 877-645-4772. That's 877-OIL-ISRAEL or 877-645-4772. That's 877-OIL-ISRAEL or 877-645-4772. There's no obligation. They'll send you out a free packet explaining our vision. Is it possible that an ancient harbinger holds the secret of America's future? That this mystery lies behind everything from 9/11 to the collapse of the global economy? Are the ancient harbingers of judgment now manifesting in America? Is God sending America a prophetic warning of what is to come? Before its destruction as a nation, ancient Israel received 9 harbingers, prophetic omens of warning. The same 9 harbingers now appear to be manifesting in America with immediate ramifications for end-time Bible prophecy. Hidden in an ancient biblical prophecy from Isaiah, the mysteries revealed in the harbinger are so precise that they foretold recent American events down to the exact day. The revelations are so specific that even the most hardened skeptics find it hard to dismiss. It sounds like a plot out of a Hollywood thriller, but it's real. Topics are, what is a harbinger? What are the 9 harbingers? What did the harbingers bring to Israel? Have 9 harbingers hit America now? Was 9/11 America's first harbinger? Does Isaiah 9:10 prophesy the fall of America? Does the harbinger involve some of America's highest leaders? Does the Shemitah have a prophecy for America? Is there a harbinger, a prophetic warning hidden in America's consecration ground? How the harbinger fits into end-time Bible prophecy. Call the Prophecy Club, Ask for The Harbinger, 785-266-1112. The Harbinger, 785-266-1112. Call now. And now, back to the program. Nothing I'm saying in this program should be deemed an offering or a solicitation for you to buy a security. Any such thing can only be done through a proper legal prospectus, such as a private placement document approved by the company. My statements are my personal views and opinions, and they are not a legal representation or a promise. I cannot promise I know the exact location of oil in Israel, nor that I will ever drill for or find oil in Israel. This interview is for entertainment purposes only. Any legal relationship, which would include a business relationship or an investment, will only be done through proper legal documents. Thank you for understanding. Stan Johnson. The voice of the Lord was so loud, she said, it woke me up. I jumped out of bed. I was standing beside the bed, yet the marker continued to write the words, and she continued to hear the audible voice of God speak. And the voice said, just as I did for David, I delivered him out of the hand of his fowler. I will do for you. I, the Lord, saith so. So that greatly encouraged us. It was March 18th of 2007. Leslie and I were leading a group of people in Israel, showing them all around on a tour. And while we're at the western wall of the temple, I just wanted to go over and pray at the temple. I handed one of the people in the tour my camera, and I said, I'm going to go over there and kneel down and pray. Would you take a picture of me praying at the Wailing Wall, or the western wall? Now, I didn't understand, but that was going to be a really, really important picture later. So I went over, I knelt down. It was 6:48 p.m., March 18th, 2007, on a Sunday. And I prayed a prayer. I know that prayer because I've been praying that same prayer for years. It has 5 points to it, and these were the points to the prayer. Lord, give me the money and the open doors to take your end-time, soul-winning gospel around the globe. In Jesus' name. He took the picture, and that picture proved that I had 8 months before been there at the Western Wall and prayed at the Western Wall, fulfilling those 5 points of that prophecy, that I had to be a stranger from another land, praying at the Western Wall, asking to take the name of God around the globe. And those 5 points were in the prophecy, and those 5 points is exactly what I did and prayed, fulfilling each point. So I was actually getting Solomon's agreement to take the name of God around the globe. After we'd started the oil company, I began making a presentation talking about oil in Israel. And I put 1 Kings 8, 41, 42, and 43 into the presentation. But then I took it out. That night, the Lord spoke to me in the night, and he said, put those verses that you took out of the presentation back in the presentation. Well, at the time, we were out of town, so I had to wait till we got back in town so I could fire up my computer and pull up those verses and see which verses that were in my notes but had been taken out of the PowerPoint. And I figured out which verses they were, and these were the verses. Now, let me explain the situation. Solomon had just finished building his temple, and he was on his knees, hands lifted up and praying for Israel. And he was saying things like, if they go aside, then correct them and bring them back into the fold. And this. Then he takes this rabbit trail, and he says these words, 1 Kings 8:41. This is Solomon speaking. He says, moreover, concerning a stranger, that is not of thy people Israel, but cometh from a far country for thy name's sake. When he shall come and pray towards this house, hear thou in heaven thy dwelling place, and do according to all that the stranger calleth to thee for, that all the people of the earth may know thy name, to fear thee. What's it saying? Read it again. Moreover, concerning a stranger. And as I was reading those words the second time, all of a sudden I saw something in that word stranger. What's a stranger? It's someone that does not live in Israel. It's someone that is not of Jewish roots. It says, moreover, concerning a stranger. And I saw my name in that word stranger, because stranger is spelled S-T-R-A-N-G-E-R. S-T-R-A-N-G-E-R. Ger. In other words, within the word stranger is also the word stan. Moreover, concerning a stranger, that is not of thy people Israel, but cometh from a far country for thy name's sake. But when he shall come and pray towards this house, hear thou in heaven thy dwelling place, and do according to all that the stranger calleth to thee for, that all of the people of the earth may know thy name to fear thee. You see, that's the prayer that I had prayed on my knees March 18th, 2007, Sunday, 6:48 p.m. When I prayed, Lord, give me the money and the open doors to take your end-time, soul-winning gospel around the world. In other words, I fulfilled that agreement. I fulfilled those scriptures. It doesn't necessarily mean that I'm the only one, but it does mean that I did fulfill those scriptures. In other words, I am a stranger, not of thy people Israel, and the United States of America is a pretty far country, and I went there with the specific prayer wanting to take his name across the globe. I came and prayed toward this house, asking God to give me the money, the open doors, to take his end-time soul-winning gospel around the globe. And so it's saying that Solomon will be praying in agreement, asking God to hear this stranger's prayer so that he can take his name around the globe. So if a person were to ask, why would God give you the privilege of finding the oil for Israel and presenting the fact that this is the milk and honey that was promised to Moses? Well, one reason might be is that I went to the Wailing Wall, the Western Wall, and I prayed the points of the prophecy, asking to take his name around the globe, stranger, far country, for his name's sake. That's March 18th, 2007. November 27th of 2007, just 8 short months later, I was asked to start the Prophetic Oil Company. So we started the oil company January 1, 2008. I was out on a speaking tour, 18 different cities. I remember I spoke in Amarillo that night. And in my prayer closet that night, I said, Lord, I certainly hope that you are pleased with these prophecy meetings. I'm trying my best to get people warned and win souls. I hope this is counting for something, because it is very frustrating, and it just doesn't seem like very many people are in the meetings. Not very many people have come to Christ. It seems like I'm just spinning my wheels. So I hope I'm doing right here, and went to bed. That night, I heard these words. I don't know for certain that it was God. I'm only saying I heard these words. You can do with as the Holy Spirit leads you. But I heard the words, Stan, I will give you the money to drill the well in Israel. So much so, I answered back with a question. I said, the oil well in Israel? But there was no answer. I'm going to give this next dream without interpretation either. And the reason is that I don't want anyone even thinking that I may be suggesting that I'm selling some kind of security or anything. All of this is just for entertainment purposes, as I've already said. May 13th, 2012, this year, my friend and I were looking at an abandoned drilling site. The site had old rusty remnants of an old drilling operation sitting near a small river. All of a sudden, I got a revelation. I ran and jumped up on a large round block of concrete, pointed down at that crude-soaked land and yelled, "There's oil about to come out of there!" I felt a rumble way down deep below me. Then, about 6 to 8 sprouts of crude oil squirted oil briefly from 18 to 25 feet in the air, just briefly shot up, and then it fell back silent to the earth. But the oil from the nearest one took a right turn and splashed all over the front of my white T-shirt. I was overjoyed because I knew this meant that this oil was for me and my friend. I saw in the Spirit what appeared to be a future oil well, a gusher that had been drilled among them. It gushed straight up, almost like a telephone pole, a gusher of oil coming from a group of abandoned wells now supernaturally resupplied by the hand of God via an earthquake. I turned to my friend behind me, who was faceless, and said, "Quick, we have to get this land leased before anyone discovers oil has flowed into this formation." Instantly, the papers to get signed appeared in my hands, and I was off to get them signed, and the dream ended. Well, that is my story of how I got involved with the vision to find oil in Israel. Now, we have 3 different DVDs. We have Prophecies of Oil in Israel, More Prophecies of Oil in Israel, and Asher's Hidden Message. 3 DVDs available at the Prophecy Club, each one normally valued at $30. However, if you'd like to have those 3 DVDs, then if you'll call them, then we will make it available to you for a $25 donation or more. Just ask for the Oil in Israel gift offer, 785-266-1112. Now, if you are interested in finding out more about the vision to find oil in Israel, then you got to call Prophetic Oil at 877-OIL-ISRAEL. That's 877-645-4772. That's 877-645-4772. Once again, 877-OIL-ISRAEL or 877-645-4772. That's 877-OIL-ISRAEL or 877-645-4772. They will send you out a package that includes one of the 3 DVDs for free. It also includes about 17 pages of legalese saying basically that this is a bad idea, this is a long shot, they don't have any money, they don't know what they're doing, and you do have a hole in your head if you have anything to do with it. Here's where to send a check. But, that is what the law requires, and we want to follow the law because we want to do a lot of things we don't want to be stopped. So that's how I got involved with the vision to find oil in Israel. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your prayers and your gifts of support. May God bless. Now from the Prophecy Club, some exciting opportunities for you. If you would like to find out more about our vision to find oil in Israel, call 877-645-4772. That's 877-OIL-ISRAEL or 877-645-4772. That's 877-OIL-ISRAEL or 877-645-4772. There's no obligation. They'll send you out a free packet explaining our vision. Is it possible that an ancient harbinger holds the secret of America's future? That this mystery lies behind everything from 9/11 to the collapse of the global economy? Are the ancient harbingers of judgment now manifesting in America? Is God sending America a prophetic warning of what is to come? Before its destruction as a nation, ancient Israel received 9 harbingers, prophetic omens of warning. The same 9 harbingers now appear to be manifesting in America with immediate ramifications for end-time Bible prophecy. Hidden in an ancient biblical prophecy from Isaiah, the mysteries revealed in the harbinger are so precise that they foretold recent American events down to the exact day. The revelations are so specific that even the most hardened skeptics find it hard to dismiss. It sounds like a plot out of a Hollywood thriller, but it's real. Topics are: what is a harbinger? What are the 9 harbingers? What did the harbingers bring to Israel? Have 9 harbingers hit America now? Was 9/11 America's first harbinger? Does Isaiah 9:10 prophesy the fall of America? Does the harbinger involve some of America's highest leaders? Does the Shemitah have a prophecy for America? Is there a harbinger, a prophetic warning hidden in America's consecration ground? How the harbinger fits into end-time Bible prophecy. Call the Prophecy Club. Ask for the Harbinger, 785-266-1112. The Harbinger, 785-266-1112. Call now.